Hey, yo, fam, I swear down, man. I feel like, oh man, someone hit me on my arm, man. I swear down, I was going down to the bar, to a club, and someone hit me on my arms. And it was like this, I felt very bad, and the guy was drunk, and he wasn't paying attention. He thought I was a lamppost, and he hit me on the arm, and it fucking kills, bro. And my arms all fucked, bro. And I was going to the club, I was doing some partying, and some guy hit me on my arm, and he wasn't seeing things probably. He thought I was a lamppost. But you know, what the fuck's going on, man? If I hit a lamppost, no bad shit happens. But if someone hits me, bad shit happens. Is it because of my brain thingy? Well, why is this stuff, like, why are we all like, because, you know, the guy thought I was a lamppost and he hit me across the head with a bottle, and I was like all fucking traumatic and shit, guys. And oh man, I was all fucking scared and scary, man. What the hell? He hit me on the head with a fucking glass. Guys, I'm gonna be talking about shall I come closer to the camera? I'm gonna be talking about a very deep fucking topic today. Do we have a soul? The human soul, so whimsical, so magical. Do we have a soul? I want to get deep into this now because it feels like right now, so many of us, we believe that we're just like mechanical machines, where everything in the world is just physical, material. There's no spirituality or divinity or any type of divine essence. We are merely just cogs in the machine. We are like physical things, meat suits. Everything in the world is just physical, mechanical, like atoms colliding together on the molecular scale. Everything's just pretty much just like physical shit that's being pushed together on the molecular level. Do we have a soul? I just need to double check something. Do we have a soul? Now this shit's like so important. This topic, so deep, profound. It really does touch on our history as a species, where we came from, where we're going, what we're doing here, and of course whether or not we're just like, are we alive? Are we truly alive, guys? Or are we merely just like mechanical machines, biological robots? Do we have a soul? And you know, if you were to get a human being, put him into bondage, and then slowly start to remove his hands and fingers without any anesthesia, the guy is going to be yelling at you, he's going to be in all sorts of pain. But is he actually experiencing anything, or is that type of reaction just like a chemical response of the brain? This is like a very deep philosophical question. Do we have a soul? And people have been trying to work this out for so many years now. People have been like arguing about this. Are we just like mechanical? Because he thought that I was a lamppost, and I got my head smashed up and I had to go to the hospital, and they put me under anesthesia, and I was like all fucking incapacitated, and they believed that I was about to die. But you know, why the guy thought I was a lamppost, so he didn't feel bad hitting me. Why is it that, what's going on? What's the difference between hitting a human being and a lamppost? The difference is that the conscious experience, a lamppost, some mechanical thing, has no consciousness that's appreciative. Oh God, I was going to the club and someone bashed my jaw with like a glass bottle, and I was about to pass out on the ground and die. Luckily they patched me up and they put me into the hospital. And god damn, man, it's so scary, man. They thought that I was a lamppost. What the hell? How can a lamppost talk and move around and have a conscious experience, my guys? Something's different, you know what I mean? You can hit a lamppost, but you can't hit a human. Whole beings, are we just biological machines programmed by natural selection, Darwinism, to survive, reproduce, to pass on our genetic material to the next generation and decade? Then we respire and go into the ground and rot away like every other animal. Or do we have a soul? Are we some sort of like spiritual animal? Are we like, do we have something in us that's outside of the physical stuff, like the organs and brain tissue? Is there something else in there? Because, you know, if you're watching this video, you're fucking conscious. You got that like experience in your brain. You're seeing the world around you. And of course, a lot of people do tend towards like materialism and atheism and science, and I am like that as well, guys. I do tend towards that as well. I do think we're just pretty much mechanical meat suit people. I don't think there's any sort of great spirituality out there, but this is like a very nice thought exercise. Actually, I take that back. I do believe there has to be some sort of divinity in this world, in this universe. There has to be some sort of divineness. It's not just like everything's not just mechanical or physical, you know what I mean? But still, do we have a soul? Because the human soul, it's not something that science can look at and say, if you like open up someone's brain, open their head up, slice open their skull, and you pull out all the brain tissue, oh, where is the soul? You're not gonna you can't pinpoint that, you know what I mean? You can't find someone's soul in that noggin there. You can't open someone's body and see the spiritualness. You can't see anything like that. You just see like fucking meaty parts that, you know, that animals are made of as well. You just see like the human being like on a purely like scientific level through like observation and just insights through our eyes. The human being appears to be like some sort of like fucking robot. Really, we are like robots, machines, if you look at things in a very mechanical way. Because if you were to open up your brain, someone's body parts, you're not gonna find some weird like thing called the soul. You're not gonna find any divinity. You know, a human being, we have like these feelings and emotions and all that shit. But a lamppost, a truck, a car, I can get an axe and bash into a car. You're not gonna hear screams because a car is just it's a physical object, my guys, my G. It's a physical thing that you can't break with your hand. I mean, you can break, you can wreck it, you can cut it with a knife. No one's gonna, you're not gonna have to go to jail because no one's gonna hear screams of all sorts. But if I got a dog, did the same thing to a dog, all sorts of loud things are gonna happen. People are gonna come and see me as being deranged. But if I get a car and do the same shit, it's like, not a big deal. My guys, there's something magical in this head of ours that's causing this first-hand experience, my guys, my G's. These experiences, the consciousness, that's so magical that you can't really grasp it, guys. The guy thought that I was a lamppost. He hit me across the jaw and I was about to die. Well, why did he think that hitting a lamppost wouldn't be bad? What's the difference in there? So, you know, do we have a soul? And this is like very important, because if you were to kidnap a human being, some person, you kidnap them, you put them into your house, you do all sorts of deranged things, you start to remove their hands and fingers with anesthesia, are they gonna respond? Are they gonna be cognizant? Or would it be like just like taking it like a figurine apart? You know, that's a bit deranged, but I mean, it kind of helps you understand where I'm going with this type of video. Like, do we have a soul? The human soul, that's what separates us from like just like a pile of rocks, a tree, a road, all of like, because you know, us human beings, we are made of atoms. Fundamentally, we're just like a collection of like atoms and shit like that. A tree, a rock is just a collection of atoms. The thing that separates us from like most other physical stuff, like other molecular stuff like a tree, a rock, is the fact that we possess a central nervous system and we possess a conscious experience. Whereas, you know, if you get a bag of rocks and you start banging it against the wall, those rocks aren't going to be screaming. They're not going to give out any type of like response. But why? Because we're made of like molecules and atoms, etc. for sure. On a fundamental level, we're pretty much the same as like a rock or a tree or a roadway. It's just that one little thing that separates everything is the consciousness in the brain, in the noggin, in the brain. We have a conscious experience. Whereas, you know, a bag of rocks, you know, if you cut open a rock, nothing's gonna happen, no emotional responses. If you cut down a tree, no emotional responses. A tree, a rock, a roadway, these things are not alive. They don't have a consciousness, you know what I mean? Whereas us human beings, because if you got a human being, you did the same thing, you cut up a human being, there's gonna be a lot of screaming, yelling. We all know it's gonna be something that's very, very painful, something that's not pleasant at all. So do we have my G's? Because the guy banged my jaw with a glass bottle, broke it, and I was about to die on the floor. What the fuck? Why did that geezer come on me and try and beat me up? Why did he think that something, like, he didn't think it's bad to hit a lamppost because he thought I was a lamppost because he was drunk and he was about to smash my jaw in. The key difference would be the fact that I'm a human fucking being. I got this first-hand experience, guys, and a lamppost is just a physical object. What's the difference between a human being and a physical object? The human being has stuff going on in here, and a physical object is just something that you can toss around and break and no one's gonna call the cops, you know? But he thought I was a lamppost and he threw this glass bottle at my head and I was about to pass out and die, my G's. And it's something that's fucked. He thought that I was a robot. not really a robot, a lamppost, something that's immaterial, mechanical, a soul? Or are we just physical, like robots, biological machines? And this is like a type of deep philosophical conundrum that people have been trying to wrestle with for so long now. And it's like what the fuck? Do we have a soul? Are we just like robots that are like programmed by natural selection, Darwinism? Or are we actually, is there something more special going on in there? And you know, if you get someone and you slice them up and you open their bodies up, you're not gonna see a fucking soul. You're not gonna see like a dancing soul or a leprechaun. I'm being kind of dumb, but still, it just illustrates what I'm saying, that, you know, we all have like this type of first-hand conscious experience. We're all alive in this world. We're all like fucking breathing and moving around. But do we have a soul? Are we conscious? Like because like, are we just biological machines? Or, you know, do we have a soul? And it's like, because a lot of people now believe in like materialism and shit, and like we're just like everything's physical and mechanical. We're just like biological robots basically programmed by natural selection and Darwinism. But do we, like the soul, but this first-hand experience, the conscious experience, where is it coming from if we're just like biological machines, basically robots? If that is the case, then why do we have this first-hand like fucking experience? Why are we alive in this world? Why are we moving around and breathing and doing all sorts of things if there's no soul in there, in the noggin? It's like questions like this are so hard to like figure out. Do we have a soul, or are we just like biological robots and machines programmed, again, by natural selection and Darwinism? I can move my hand up and down, but is that me? Is there like some sort of, my guys, someone hit me on the head with a glass bottle, about to pass out, someone patched me up and put me in the hospital bed. My geez, like, what the hell? What's the difference between banging a lamppost up and banging a human being up? It's the fucking magic thing in here, the brain, the consciousness. Oh, I was getting almost put into a hospital bed. It's so fucked, bro. Luckily, I survived. Woke up here to tell you what's going down. And it's so scary, bros. That shit fucking terrifying, you know what I mean? He thought that I was a lamppost and he threw the glass bottle at me and I fell to the ground. Why did he think that me being a lamppost would permit him to throw a glass bottle at my face? My geez, it's the consciousness that defines everything in the end. That's the difference between a lamppost and a human being. Anything inside this meat suit that's causing this to happen, or is it just like chemical reactions in the brain? Much like a computer, everything's just mechanically moving about. It's all predetermined. There's no real consciousness, no agency that's causing this movement to happen. God damn. Do we have a soul? And a lot of people again tend towards like materialism and like fucking materialism of some sort. So they believe that, you know, everything's just physically put together. Everything is physical, mechanical, material. There's no divinity at all. This is a bit deep, guys. Do we have a soul? And this question's so profound, because imagine one day in the future, people discover that actually us human beings, we are just like biological robots and machines. What we see as like being consciousness is just an illusion created by the neurotransmitters in the brain. And they figure out in the future that actually we're just like robots. There's no consciousness, there's no soul. We're just like a computer moving about, and that's like a bit depressing. It could be a possibility in the future that we have for ourselves. And sometime in the future, they might discover that consciousness is actually an illusion. And we're just like we're robots, we're just like meat suits, we're mechanical machines, we're computers. And that's very sad indeed. It's fucking scary, man. Think about this. Are we just like robots, or do we have something else inside of us, this soul, this consciousness that we're all experiencing? But is it actually real, or is it just an illusion created by our primitive brains? Do rocks have a consciousness? Do only things that have a brain have a consciousness? Like these deep fucking trippy questions, man. But you gotta be thinking deeply about this, because it's like, it relates to like ethics, morality, religion so much. Do we have a soul? Science can't really answer this. The consciousness is very deep, my God, my G's. Someone gets a rock and smashes your face onto the ground. All sorts of pain, there's physical injuries, trauma. If I get a car and I bash it with a rock, no one's gonna call the cops. My G's, what the fuck's the difference? It's the thingy going here in the brain. That's the difference, my guys. Someone was about to put me into the hospital bed. I was dying, bleeding out. Luckily, someone called the cops and patched me up. My G's, what's the difference between breaking someone's head with a glass bottle and throwing a glass bottle at a lamppost? My guys, it's the thing that's going on in the brain thingy here. That's what changes everything in the end. Someone was about to hit me. I was all like on my knees praying to God, praying that he doesn't fucking end me. He thought that I was a lamppost and he thought it was going to be going all merry and well. But something deep